Hello, my name is John Kind, and I'm the founder and creative director of John Kind Studios LLC. We're a full media coverage company. We take care of all your audio visual needs so that you don't have to manage multiple people yourself. I'm excited to talk about today's topic today, which is spirituality. And this is going to be very insightful for those who are new to spirituality and just want to know ways to understand it and ways to grow in it. To those who have already been in the journey, this is going to just feel familiar, and you should probably hear some relatability throughout this talk. It's all going to be free form, so none of my work is scripted or AI. So please feel free to comment below your thoughts on how what you think about what it is that I'm talking about. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Spirituality is the other realm to this realm. Everything that you see around you isn't just what you see. Science has proven that beneath all of these fleshy things, or even this nice suit that I'm wearing, it's all made out of the same things: atoms, protons, electrons, neutrons, right? And so if you think about it from that perspective, you're made out of a collection of energy. Energy is described as light. So everything is made out of light essentially. And light has its own measure. And sometimes there's darkness. There's darkness, there's light, there's opposites. So we have things that have what's called quote unquote dead space. But it's not technically dead space. It's necessary. So there's these molecular atoms that come together and form these designs. And it all looks like there's empty space, but there's not. In psychology, you learn a lot about the mind, the brain. It tells you a lot about how people function, why we do certain things, and then there's some underlying things that is more existential. It's intangible. We can't like do surgery on your brain, pull out you, and work on you and put you back in. We have to engage with you as known as you. So if your name is Bob or John, like myself, you know, you known as Bob, we have to communicate with the existential existence identity of Bob so we can help Bob with his depression, anxiety. So you see, like, there's different little cues and signs that show people get around other people and feel vibes. They love animals because of animals' vibes. Why do dogs get used in a lot of police crime or just get brought and used for service? Because they can pick up on certain vibes that maybe people with more complex emotions don't pick up on. There's some people with fully working human minds, fully working human hearts, fully working human everything, but they can't detect when someone is hurting. They can't detect when to do the right thing. So it's not really about being human or being college educated or being able to even walk up a mountain and being with the gurus or going to all the church services there is in the world. It's really not about building up these points, because where does it go at the end of the day? There's no one keeping score but the Almighty, the creator of all things. So for me, I've been through this trauma when I was born. My parents, they've been through a lot of trauma, and not excusing the things that they've done or the stuff that my family has done, but it has molded me into the person you see today. I suffered from very severe suicidal ideation, and it was a lot because I felt unworthy. I didn't know how to feel my worth. I felt empty inside this vessel. Everywhere I went, I would get bullied at school for being different. Teachers wouldn't have patience for me. And then when I got home, my parents didn't have patience for me, and my father was very bullyish, and he was just very demeaning about my looks, the way I look, things like that. My mom, she tried her best, but she just wasn't as strong against things, and I used to really resent her for that, because I used to feel like maybe my mom should be protecting me more. Same thing with my siblings and things like that. I felt like they should have been protecting me more. And I got to therapy, but I couldn't talk about therapy as a kid because, CPS, all those different social services would take kids out of the house, or at least that's what was told to me, was like, don't tell those people anything, because if you do, they might take you away. So I bottled everything up. My outlet was rap music, and I used to love it. And I didn't understand why I loved rap music. But now at 33, I understand why, because it kept my voice alive. It kept me, my authenticity alive. It was like a capsule I was in, hiding in while I was being invalidated, in school, at home, my community. I just didn't fit in. I didn't look like what everybody would want. I didn't move the way everybody would want, but I still kept trying. I kept trying to prove my worth. And that was a miserable life, and that's why I was tearing myself apart, because there was two things existing. What became my breakthrough was when God let me hit rock bottom, where like I just had it with everybody, and actually everybody had it with me. They were like, John, we don't need you no more. You've already listened to my problems. I've already worked my shit out. I got a new man, or I got a new friend, or I got a new whatever. There's no point in you. So they became the switcheroo where they try to put me in their place of their misery. And because of the way my heart was designed as a kid, it was to put my parents first, to put my family first, to put everyone else first. So I didn't know how to understand me. I thought who I was what made you happy. I couldn't even do this type of thing, do videos, do music, because I couldn't figure out what does the other person need, what does he want, what do they know, what do they want in general. But I found out it was really me I was seeking. I was looking for me through all of these things, trying to keep me alive. And through God's word and the Bible, I actually got to find verbiage to my experience, because I was going through a lot of things, but church wasn't really explaining it right. I wasn't fitting the bill. It was like, John, you got a hat on in church, or you cuss, or you rap, or you do this and that. This doesn't fit, or you don't talk like how we talk. I don't know what's up with some people who try to portray a certain image a certain way, but I guess I just couldn't do it. And I used to hate myself for it, because I would stick out like a sore thumb, and I would be the laughing stock of stuff. I was told that I'm not all the way saved from people who were claiming to be my brother in Christ, and all these things that people wanted me to be forgiving. And the thing is, people manipulate these terms because they understand where you're at in your spiritual walk. If you understand what forgiveness is, it's not meaning bowing down and letting people walk all over you, walk by. Forgiveness is for the self. It's letting go of something because you came to an acceptance. But that doesn't mean you go back to the dysfunction. And that's what they wanted. They wanted me to be lenient. They wanted me to just, no, man, this is going to help me. But when it came for my turn, for me to be received, for me to be able to vent, for me to be able to be heard, just for a second, it was always, John, you talk too much, or I don't know, that's too deep, or just get over it. It was so dismissive. And I just felt like I had nobody. I just really wanted it all to end. And God brought me my tribe. I finally found a group, for therapy. And I didn't trust them at first. There was a lot of things to that I was like, what's all this? Because I had different things in me. I knew I believed in God. I knew there was a higher power, but I didn't understand why I kept getting used and why all my efforts kept falling to the wayside. That's why I wanted to give up. But when I found that there were other people in that same struggle, I don't know, it just did something for me. It just started a whole domino effect, where I started coming to group every day and just asking questions with the therapist and just really just digging deep into my life. I went into spaces in my life I didn't want to go into, because I was like, man, I want to talk about today. How do I get John Kine in this studio going and all that? I'm like, no, let's talk about your childhood. What kind of love did you get growing up? What type of this? And I didn't want to poke and tear at that, because I have so much respect and love, even for people who have harmed me and people who have shortchanged me and breadcrumbed me. Because in my mind, it's like, I don't want that badness to hit them, but they already know what they are. That was the killer part. When I was discovering these things, I was like, hey, there might be a misunderstanding, but I think you might be giving me fake love. And they're like, yeah, I'm giving you fake love. Dummy, I'm just taking you long to figure this out. Like, you've been loving my fake love this whole time. What's the problem, baby? And it messed me up, because I'm like, dang, this is the person who I would talk to, vent to about deep stuff. We don't mess with those kind of people, those kind of snakes. Whole time they were a snake. I guess that's how snakes work, right? They'll look right you in your face and, hey, I'm not one of those snakes. Let me help and protect you from the other snakes. So it becomes a scary world if you go through my experience, where the people closest to you that you're supposed to trust, the ones that you're supposed to call your day ones, actually end up been hating on you since day one, actually been plotting on your downfall since day one. And so I was forced, I was rejected, I was scapegoated, I was all that stuff to just be pushed all the way out. That it's like to come back as this, to come back as me, to come back stronger, to come back leading the pack, to come back open, creating spaces for other people so that they can feel they can belong. That's sweet justice. So in the Bible, it talks a lot about different scriptures that you can look into yourself. I'm not here to debate the Bible to anybody or to convince anyone or convert anyone. I'm here just to give my testimony of somebody who was deep, deep in depression, who had no one to fish him out, no one knew he was in it, and just like I think it was the one who got swallowed in the whale. I'm pretty sure someone would know who I'm referring to. But that person there, like, being in that position, it was like I couldn't get out of it. I felt swallowed by everything. I felt swallowed by the depression, swallowed by the things I was experiencing, and I just got free, But and this is why I'm saying that if you're ever in that situation where you don't know where you're going, start looking into different things that speak to you. It may not be the Bible. For me, it was the Bible because I'm a poet, I'm a writer, and also too my personal experiences, the trauma I went through, even being molested as a child. There's just terrible things, And this was by somebody who actually was helping me as a kid how to rap, which was ironic. So a lot of spiritual things in that where there was a lot of attacks, where things that were meant for me, things that were supposed to be uplifting, were targeted and violated. And so I had to nurture myself. So when people see me today, they don't really quite understand me. And I had to make peace with that. So to those who have already been the journey, know what I'm talking about, yeah, you're going to be misunderstood by those from before, but that's all right. Just keep staying to your path, staying in the truth. And it may seem like I'm alone now because I'm by myself, but I'm truly not alone. There's so many people in the world that are in my position that are just like me, and I'm just one of those lights to represent. And I look forward to meeting more people like me so that I can continue to grow myself. We're here. We're not small. We're not trapped. No matter what you see going on in the world, if you feel connected to that, that means that you're part of the light. You're part of the Kind Tribe. That's the type of movement that I'm creating. It's called Kind Tribe, and it's all these artists and spiritual people, different people who come together to enlighten this world, to impact this world, because now is the time. Now is the time to put your voice out there, just like me. Do some videos, do some music, do something, but be in touch with yourself. That is spirituality. Love yourself, accept yourself radically, and this is to all the good people. For the people out there that shapeshift, you know who you are. Leave us alone. We don't want your business. We don't want your lies. We don't want your manipulation. You guys are going to be exposed eventually. I mean, you already know how it goes. That's what I love about life. What goes up must come down. There are laws to this universe. So just as there is a thought space, like a mind that's intangible, you are also intangible in a way. So that shows you that there's no I need to go and pray this amount of times and this amount of times, and then I'll become spiritual. You are spiritual because you're a spirit. You're a spirit in a body. And what you say and what you do has effect. What you think has effect. If you don't think so, try to think and do whatever you want and see how the world responds to you. Try to think you're better and bigger than everybody and see how the world smacks you right back in your face. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but it'll be years from now. You could be in denial, but you'd be like, oh, dang, I see, I need to chill out. Some of us don't need to be humble because we was already raised wise. Like, we already understood things. We had to figure things out ourselves, like myself. I had to figure out things for me and my friends and other people. And that was a gift. I used to feel burdened by it, but now in my spiritual journey and my growth at 33, I'm strong. I'm powerful. I mean, look what I'm doing. I'm opening up doors, and God's going to continue to bless me this way. And I pray He continues to bless you in the same exact way, that you continue to open doors for people, for yourself even. You continue to love yourself and continue to give back. So that's all I have today for spirituality. I'm going to do more videos like this, but this is just the beginning. We're going to keep going. If you got any topics or ideas that you want me to discuss, please comment below and message me. I look forward to talking with you guys soon. And again, my name is John Kind, and the name of my business is John Kind Studios, LLC. We was founded here in Boston. We do full media coverage, so we have sound engineers, videographers, photographers, graphic designers, live techs, And we also have AV instructors, and we also have video editors, and we also have photo editors. So it's really a huge team, and it's always growing. And we're eager to work with you. If you got a concept, you want to do an album, you want to do a music video, you want to do content yourself, you want to do a documentary, you got a podcast, whatever it is, you're doing a live event, you need stages set up, you need speakers, you need microphones, you need projectors. What do you need? We could talk about that. We could go to step by step, work on the process, work on the plan, and I guarantee you, by the time that we're done with what we do, we're gonna get to the point where you're gonna feel more and more successful because you're gonna see that you're meeting your goals. You're gonna see that you're crossing those boxes every day, and and I do things organically. So I don't do everything the same kind of way as the next person. Each time I take my creativity, I take my wit, I bring my whole self to it. We sit down, we brainstorm, and we go through the process and we get it done. Check out my website, johnkinestudios.com, and you can see on there all my prices, all the testimonials. And yeah, follow me on social media at John Kine Creates and at John Kine Studios LLC. And that's all I have to say. Check out my music too, John Kine. And thank you very much. I'm going to go because I'm going to just keep promoting. But thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. God bless.